Okay, so hello everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. So today we're actually just going to be talking about something that has seriously been annoying me and it's just really been bothering me. And we're just going to be having a nice conversation about how the NRA is involved in Americans' gun violence and just America's gun violence just in general. So as you guys know, what happened in Uvalde, Texas, it was 19 children who were killed, gunned down, and two teachers who got shot and killed as well, and other people got injured. That entire case, everything that, all the details about it is absolutely ridiculous. I did a video on it and whatnot, so feel free to check that out. But yeah, I just want to talk about America's gun violence and, the NRA's involvement and, other things that could be done to try to prevent this from happening so that we're just not having this problem and it's not continuing on and on as we have seen it. So, I mean, obviously, we know the US has an insane amount of guns, you guys. Looking at this chart right here, where it says the top 10 civilians gun owning countries. And it's just talking about, how America, we just surpass people like drastically. It's crazy how much we seriously surpass people with the amount of guns that people are owning. I mean, I just looked at, I was scrolling through, the Twitters and whatnot yesterday, and I'd seen a video. Actually, it was a picture. It was of this family. It was like the mother, the husband, and you had two kids. One kid had a gun in their hand, and then it was like laid out. It was like 70 weapons. And they were all smiling like, yeah, this is normal. This is right. And it's like, why would anyone need that many? And I was reading a comment by somebody on there, and then this one guy, he was like, yeah, I served in the military. He said, then I became a cop for like over 20 years. I think it was like 25 years. And he was like, yeah, I don't even own a gun now. He's like, what do you need one for? Seriously, what do you need one for? Unless you are trying to be the problem, and it's just crazy how, when we look at America, we look at America's gun violence, and then look at everyone else's, and it's like, we're just killing our own constantly. And this is just an ongoing problem. And then people want to say, oh man, but this is my amendment right. This is something that I'm supposed to be doing. This is something that, I'm supposed to be having. I'm supposed to have this gun. I'm supposed to do this. And it's like, you don't need it. And how long ago was the Constitution and amendments created? And you're going to sit there and say, oh yeah, I need it though. I need it. It's just absolutely ridiculous when you really think about it. And it really is bothersome. But I did want to go into this and talk about the whole NRA's involvement for it, right? So I have a little bit, I'll probably put up on the screen, but I'll definitely link it down below. And it says, the NRA stands for the National Rifle Association. It was founded in 1871 by two U.S. Civil War veterans as a recreational group designed to promote, quote unquote, promote and encourage rifle shootings on a scientific basis. Okay, whatever that's supposed to mean. Then it says, in 1975, it formed a lobbying arm, the Institute for Legislative Action, to influence government policy. And that is, I'm not going to say, that's the beginning of the end, but that is a huge and important point to it. And it says, and in 1977, it formed its own political action committee, which is a PAC, to channel funds through to the legislators. And it's just crazy how much power they have. It said they're the most powerful special interest lobbying group in the U.S. That is ridiculous. They influence so many people. You have, them lobbying, you have them, then you I'm not even going to use the word brainwash, but you have everyone who's like, oh man, yeah, it's my right. I need the guns. We need guns. And then we see what's happening. It's crazy. It says in 2020, the NRA spent around $250 million, far more than all the country's gun control advocacy groups put together. So if you think that this is just Oh, well, it's just a little bit of money that they're putting on there. It's just, it's no big deal. You are sadly mistaken. Like, they are huge. The NRA has a much larger membership than any of those groups and uses its funds for such things as gun ranges and educational programs. And, it's just crazy how much they really do. The NRA officially spends about $3 million per year to influence gun policy. It's ridiculous. And then you have politicians who, they're like, they're getting paid. They're getting however much they're getting paid. And then, the NRA, lobbying, they're like, yo, I'll give you X amount, but you got to make sure X happens. You don't do that, you ain't getting the money. So what you want to do? So of course they're going to make sure that X happens. Hey, I'm going to go and vote for this. Hey, I'm going to go and do this. I got a tweet up here, where it says, it's Tony Gonzalez. He's the U.S. House candidate for Texas 23. And it says, he said, I voted no on 2 gun control measures in the House today. I am a proud supporter of the Second Amendment and would do everything I can to oppose gun grabs from the far left. And people are just thinking like, you're just trying to steal our guns. You're just trying to, take away my right, take away this. And it's like, that's not really what this is about. Because by weakening the gun legislations that we have, and we have seen what has happened, by pumping in more and more guns, that is what is causing all of these problems. That is what is causing all of the issues that we have today. As we have seen, this whole thing. I was watching this whole documentary piece, and it was talking about how you'll have people like in Mexican cartels and whatnot, because it's, easier to get a gun here. They'll cross the border and then illegally ship them guns, traffic them guns into Mexico from the U.S. Because here, they're just like, well, if you're 18 with no experience or anything, yeah, you could get a gun and kill some people. And that's exactly what happened with the Uvalde shooting. Because people will talk about illegal guns all day long up and down the street. But then it's like, yo, that's not really what it is. It, yes, is a huge part of it. Illegal guns, yes. But people are also getting legal guns. They're not getting background checks. They're not getting, safety checks like, okay, can you actually operate this gun? Yes or no? They're not getting any of this stuff. And people are just allowing them like, yeah, it's perfectly fine. You can go ahead and do whatever you want to do. Yeah, it's fine. You're 18 years old. You have no experience. You barely know how to drive a car. Yeah, go ahead and get a gun. And why do you think they're getting a gun? So they go hunting? Yeah, for people. That's what's happening. And, you have the NRA who, they got it in people's minds like, yeah, if you listen to those quote unquote lefties, they're going to steal your rights. They're going to steal your guns. You gotta protect yourself. And it's like, y'all, this is not what y'all need to be doing. This is literally the problem, and I look at it and I think about it and I'm like, okay, how can one person go about possibly ending gun violence? How can you go about just trying to rid the U.S. from this? All right. You could look, take detailed notes from other countries in terms of their legislation and different things that they have done and they are continuing to do, crack down on all of this. But I also have a couple little things that I think would be beneficial and very much helpful. And one, there needs to be a tracking chip, some kind of device from the manufacturer, and it needs to go into the gun. And with this chip, it's something where you can't just like, oh, I'll just take the chip out right now and then I'll put it in later. Like, no, you can't take this chip out. That's what needs to happen. This chip needs to be from any gun that's in the manufacturer, whoever builds these guns. There needs to be a chip put in there immediately, or you can't purchase the gun without a chip. And if you do have a gun, let's say you bought it a year ago, 2 years ago, whatever. And if you do have a gun that does not have a chip in there, you need to get a free chip installed into your gun. And it needs to be, a certain amount of time that you'll have to do it. Maybe it's 6 months before, the deadline for it. Or you get hit with a serious fine. Because if you're just using this gun to protect your family in your house, why would you not want to get a chip unless you are not trying to do that? Unless you don't want something to be tied to you. because you're doing some nefarious things. That is the problem. So I really think having a chip in there would be number one to help, just to figure out, okay, well, where did this gun come from? Who has had this gun? What's going on with this? And like I said, also, follow suit with what some of these other countries are doing. Have real gun reform, have real gun laws. Don't just sit here and be like, okay, well, we gonna have to do something, but I don't really know what we gonna do, but we gonna do something. No, like, have real gun reforms. I also think banning all rifles. If you are protecting your house, what do you need an AK, 47 for? What do you need that for? You know what I mean? And I mean, ban all rifles for good people and bad people. It's as simple as that. You also need to get rid of those extended magazines that they have. Why do you need that? Oh, well, someone's breaking into my house. But a lot of these people are walking around with this stuff. They're doing that, the open carry. And depending on what state you're in, they may even allow you to have a silencer on your gun while you're going to a McDonald's. What do you need that for? And I also think that just getting rid of lobbying in general, just get rid of it. And there'll be so many less problems there, So, that's just how I feel about it. I would like to know your guys' thoughts and opinions on this. How are you guys feeling about this gun violence? Are you like, okay, I need to pick up, get my bags and go because I just can't with this? I would love to know what you guys think about it, how you guys are being affected by it, in the comments down below. But until then.